Because obviously with COVID-19, we've had lots and lots of kind of questions around how it's affecting recruitment and how it's affecting, tier 2 jobs. So, I mean, has there been a big impact at Arup, especially because your project, I mean, what you're working on now is with buildings and developments, and is that still going on? And has it? How has it affected you in recruitment?
That's a good question. I think, unfortunately, the answer is the same for almost everywhere. Is that like it's not? There's almost certainly going to be downturn, and we're seeing like every single industry has been affected.
Sure.
But the good news is that like Arup, at least I know, have committed to continue to take grads in, because the last time there was this serious downturn in 2008, I think, that during the major recession, they actually stopped taking grads at the time, and this like affected them in the long term because they had like skill gaps further down the line along the years. So I know that the next 2020 grads are still being taken in, and they've committed to continue to do that. So they'll actually start work remotely, and then once the offices reopen, they'll come back in. So it's still quite positive that like Arup have like committed to like continue to take grads in, and I think some other major companies are still taking people in. So
they are.
There's absolutely still hope, but obviously it's more difficult, and that's the truth.
But let's be honest, it's never going to be easy for international students. I mean, there's always, whether it's COVID-19 or the tier 2 visa or new restrictions, it's a challenging environment. But I think that's why having the right strategy and being very, very focused on the right companies who are still actively hiring, I think is more important maybe than even last year.
Absolutely.
But that's really encouraging. And what we're finding from our coaches are that definitely there are some industries that are more affected, but there are, areas like professional services, technology, healthcare that are actually thriving, and they can't take on enough grads, because as you said, if they don't hire the grads this year, then come next year, there's going to be a huge gap and they're going to really struggle. And I think companies are kind of seeing that. So that's